else will break your heart. I'm never gonna hold you back. I'm always gonna have your back. So try to remember.
Greetings, beautiful people. Happy October 11th, 10/11. Bobby Awesome here. Thanks for tuning in to 321 No Kiddin. I appreciate you. Appreciate you giving me this accountability and this opportunity to chat with you as my adventure of life continues. It's been a great day. Last time I checked in, I had the opportunity to go out to dinner with someone I've only met virtually. So that was really cool. I got to meet her in person and explore her little town. And one of the things I'm realizing the longer I'm in recovery is how much history plays into life. Like, I've just never been enthralled with the subject of history. Like in school, I didn't really like it. And like the Bible and like all that stuff, that's history. And I do much better when it's presented to me in a way, either as a story or like an out loud story, not reading a story. That doesn't excite me as much, or exploring. And that's what I got the opportunity to do last night. We were in this cute little town called Niwot, Colorado, and there was Native American chief, I think his name was Left Hand, and there was all these little hand statues, and I guess really not little because you technically could probably sit in them, and they were painted with different themes depending on where they were placed. So like in front of the dentist had teeth, and in front of, you know, a garden had a little fairy theme. They were just beautiful and magnificent. And stay tuned because I'll be showing them off on my social media. But seeing them come to life and the statues of the Indians and then the historical placards on the building, like that was a fun way to explore history, understanding what this town must have looked like before it is the way it is now. It was really just a big adventure. And it's, you know, just gratitude, guys, for having my eyes open to the beauty of things like that. I never would have probably been in this town had I been gambling, never would have paid attention, never would have met this person. You know, all my normal drawing the correlations of how my life has turned out since not betting. It was just another little piece of my magical trip that I'm grateful for. So today, Carl Jung, who I'm pretty sure was like in the psychiatry field, says, "What great thing ever came into existence that was not first fantasy?" Many of us used to be great dreamers. During active addiction, we often settled for the dream itself instead of working to make that dream come true. It's true that dreams do come true, but they often require work. Perhaps we don't feel that we deserve to have our dreams come true. Perhaps we tell ourselves it won't happen because our dream is unrealistic. Maybe we're afraid of all the work we'll need to do. When we have doubts, we can remind ourselves of how much we've accomplished so far. Not long ago, we were on a one-way street to destruction. Now we are regaining our health, taking care of ourselves in ways we'd not dream of before. Perhaps in working toward one dream, we will accomplish something totally unexpected, something we hadn't foreseen, which was part of God's plan for us all along. God has given us dreams for a reason, and he had given us this moment to take a small step towards those dreams, a small step into his plan for us. Now is the time for us to step into life's great adventure. Today, let me have the courage to believe in my dream. Some days, these readings are just exactly what I need to hear. I love this because it's so true. Like, I don't remember ever really dreaming big when I was younger. I think I was always more of a short-term kind of girl. And by younger, maybe I mean when I was gambling. I don't know. But I never wanted a house. I never wanted a family. I never dreamt about those kinds of things. And now as I shift, I do have a dream. I have a dream of these recovery playgrounds. And my vision is so freaking crystal clear on how I want the end result to be. Back when I first started telling you guys in my first episode that there was big things that I wanted to happen, you know, surrounding legislator and gambling messages on raffle tickets and things to raise awareness, I've not lost sight of those. Those are things that I want to accomplish. And along the way, I need to do the work to fulfill the dreams. That's kind of what this reading is speaking to me on. And it's a reminder that I can have dreams. And you know what? It absolutely sounds unrealistic 2 years ago when it first started formulating in my head. However, at the pace that things are going and the way my life is turning out and the gratitude and clarity I have around working towards this dream, I've adopted this whole new philosophy. And here's what it is. Maybe it's simple. Maybe it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm simplifying it and maybe I'm all wrong. I guess we'll know within the next couple of years as I progress. But I think about getting to these multi-million-dollar facilities that I want to build, right? And I don't have multi-million dollars in the bank right now. I don't even want to go asking people, like I don't want to do fundraising and I don't want to ask for investors or anything. I think that my idea is brilliant and I think there's a huge need and demand for it and that I could get people to buy in on it, but I don't know that I want to give part of my baby away. What I'd rather do is work hard towards it, move the needle on my life and other people's lives as I do work that serves other people, and that the money will come and take care of itself. I believe in this so much that like, I just know it's going to work itself out. And the philosophy that I've adopted, I guess either way works, is if I look at it as like, oh my God, I want to build this huge facility. I want to have Justin from Blue October and the whole band singing at my grand openings. Like I want to have these houses behind the facility that help people get their lives kickstarted. Like I could see all that. All of that is a bunch of little problems or opportunities that need to be solved along the way. I don't know exactly how to solve every part of it yet, but I have this faith and gratitude towards what the last, year especially has brought to me and shown me. So here's the theory. No problem is too big, especially if we break it down into little problems. And there's no way to fail at this project unless I give up. That's the only way. But as long as I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and as long as I keep talking to you guys, as long as I keep learning and having an open mind. Wow, I'm watching the two cats in here totally go crazy. They're hilarious. Yesterday was squirrels, today's cats. But as long as I believe in that, and I'm practicing the principles in my recovery that speak to me. So I believe in having some sort of faith that it'll all work out. Like things are going to happen exactly the way they're supposed to. And I know that because of the history, my history, everything that has happened in the past has made me who I am today. So it only stands to reason that anything that's happening now will be happening for this whatever reason it's supposed to happen. And I can reflect on that in the future. It sounds really crazy. Like I'm talking about time 3-dimensionally. And I still have to circle back to my Eckhart Tolle classes and books to get a true handle on how time works in his perspective. Because I think it's very interesting. And I think I'm starting to grasp it, even though I haven't finished consuming his information about it. When we have doubts, we can remind ourselves of how much we've accomplished so far. Not long ago, we were on a one-way street to destruction. I was just sharing about this in group this morning, how, again, grateful for all the things that have happened. I love that. Yeah, what have I accomplished? And I this really resonates with me with the alcohol piece of it, which I guess technically I cheated last night, guys. I had Bananas Foster and evidently there's rum in the recipe. So I don't know if that counts as drinking or not, or alcohol consumption. We can have a whole other discussion about that another day. I don't personally think that it breaks my sobriety. Not that my sobriety is about the counting and keeping track. It's about how I feel. And I felt good having dessert last night. Of course, there was ice cream involved, but it was more of an experience kind of thing. So anyway, I totally digressed. When I was chatting though, I was like, yeah, I don't think that, let me think of how I want to say this. When I reflect back on what I've accomplished so much the last 9 months. The classwork I'm doing, the courage, the mindset shift, the being an adventurer, the showing up with the uncomfortable things, like doing the videos and stuff on social media, things that are not in my wheelhouse. And I'm like, oh, I did all that. And then I'm like, oh, I haven't drank or gambled. Is it coincidence that I got all this stuff done? I really don't think so. So I think it's important that we take notice of what's happening along the way. Perhaps in working towards one dream, we will accomplish something totally unexpected, something we hadn't foreseen, but which is part of God's plan for us all along. So what has happened? Like, I can't think of a truer statement in what's happened to me the last couple months. Here I am. I'm working on the 3-2-1 No Kiddin stuff. I want to be a recovery coach and help people. I want to use different products to reach people in a way that is maybe different than traditional recovery, because I think that there's a need that not everybody recovers the same way. These are my beliefs. And I have my big dream about the recovery playground. Now, I know I need all this money for the recovery playground. What I didn't know was how I was going to get it. And one of those unexpected things was this second business that we've created that helps my peers and my friends in the entrepreneurial space, as well as it helps my new friend / co-owner, Anna, fulfill her dream and help her people and live in her mission. If you asked me 3 months ago, 6 months ago, would I ever be in this space? I would have been like, what are you talking about? That's absolutely crazy. However, all the business experience I have, all the vision that I have, all the things that are showing up for me because I am clear-minded enough to notice. Maybe they've been there all along. Maybe I didn't really understand what gifts I possess. But all of that is showing itself as valuable resources for my journey. And that's part of what makes me believe in my journey. Like, I had no idea how I was going to make income, or it's not turning out how I thought I would make income. And it's just coming along. It's really just a neat premise. And this can happen in our lives, in our relationships. I mean, I'm talking a lot about it lately in the work world, because that's what I'm immersed in right now as my business and how I want my dreams to come true. But this is applicable with everything. The other fleeting thought I had as I read through this, I don't know that I ever dreamt of a meaningful relationship or what was on the movies. That's the best way I know how to describe it. But it happened. It happened. And I got exposure to a whole new concept in life. And it was another one of those unexpected gifts. Now, even though it didn't work out, which is fine, I at least now understand people better. Like, I needed to go through that to understand, I couldn't wrap my head around, why do people want to be in a relationship? Then you have to compromise and blah, blah. I had all these things that just couldn't wrap my head around why people would want to do some of this stuff. So at least now I can relate. And again, I didn't ask for it. I didn't go, oh, I want to go to rehab and fall in love with the guy. That made no sense to me. And my rational self would be like, what are you thinking? But it all had its purpose. The last couple sentences, now is the time for us to step into life's great adventure. Today, let me have the courage to believe in my dream. And there's two things I want to say. Having the courage to believe is not a no-brainer. It takes work. It takes reflection. It takes some confidence that we could do whatever we want to do. And oh, by the way, if we're not gambling, we have a better shot of all of that. I truly believe that. And now is the time for us to step into life's great adventure. This is what I want us to focus on and challenge yourself with as maybe, I don't know, this week's exercise, or this is just be mindful of it. But what can you do to step into life's adventure in your world on your terms? And I'm going to say this in a very simple way. When I was in Kansas, I always told, and I love it, I got to see him when I was there, my bartender friend, Aaron, I was like, you live here. Why have you not gone to Legoland? Why have you not gone to this park or this arboretum or the racetrack, for the, NASCAR, the soccer field, or this experience or these haunted houses? There's so many things to do in Kansas City. I'm like, why are you not taking advantage of your own backyard? So that would be how I would call this out to you, between what I saw in Niwot last night and then how I've experienced Kansas City. Now, this doesn't have to be high dollar things. It didn't cost us anything to walk around Niwot and look at these hands. Find something out of your comfort zone or something that interests you and make it part of your life adventure. I'm picturing right now somebody walking down the street last night. Like if I was still gambling, I would be like, ugh, what am I doing here? I could be at the casino, like my aunt and uncle are gone. I'll run over to, I think there's a place in Colorado. It's been a while. I don't remember exactly where it is, but there's a mountain of casinos all together in one little place here. I could have very easily went that way and not appreciated what I was appreciating last night. So try to walk through or do something experiential that could qualify as an adventure. And you know what, guys? Maybe just walking into a Zoom call where you know no one is an adventure and what you need to do. But do something. Challenge yourself to do something to really grasp life. Schedule a visit with an old friend. Go see a relative you haven't seen in a while. Do something to show you that there's more to life than just gambling. And even if you've been abstinent for a long time, that's fine. Do something anyway. Like you could be not gambling, but also not living. I'm going to repeat that. You could be not gambling, but still not living. I want you to think about that because it's true. You know, there's abstinence and then there's recovery. And I want you living a life of recovery and joy and gratitude and have these life experiences. I mean, part of why I'm doing this road trip is to show people like anything is possible and that I'm not scared and you don't have to be scared either. It's very important to me that I lead by example. And this is part of the example I'm setting. I'm believing in myself. I'm going forward. I'm nurturing my relationships. That's recovery to me. Doing those kinds of things and helping me grow. Having those hard conversations like I told you about with my aunt, where I have to reflect back, or having a hard conversation with Ash the other day. Like those conversations where people like call us out on our bullshit, those can be tough, but that's what keeps us growing, right? And then if I change my behavior or I make modifications based on the feedback I'm getting, then maybe I don't have to have another hard conversation like that down the road. It kind of solves itself. So those are my thoughts. Don't give up on our dreams. Dreaming is awesome and we're worth it. It goes back to us being worth it. We have to believe that as well. And maybe we don't believe it yet, but go through the motions so that you could build up your belief in yourself and your courage and your confidence. You know, guys, it's a work in progress. I mean, it's really a work in progress, but the results are so worth the work. I know I'm getting in a little bit of naggy mode, but that's okay. I want you to believe it. If you're here, you're showing up and you're taking the time to listen to me, I count that as you working on your recovery and really trying to invest in yourself, because you're investing the 10, 15, 20 minutes we're together every day to maybe something hits you. I'm sure not every day I'm getting to every single person, but maybe there's just a thought or an idea or a concept that either you forgot or maybe didn't know. And maybe you could take the ball and run with it and just improve your life just a little bit more. And all those little bit mores, they add up someday, guys, to something so freaking beautiful. And that's what I got. Life is great. And I'm grateful. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great rest of the day. And I will be talking to you soon. Thanks.